If you like this video, please consider supporting me on Patreon. For just $1 a month, your name can appear at the beginning of this and many other upcoming videos. Okay, why are they using human hands and fingers in a country populated by horses with hooves? With this being the final season, I wasn't really expecting any returning celebrity appearances or anything too big, but they got Patton Oswald to return in Common Ground. An episode that looks pretty basic on the surface, but actually becomes a lot more interesting when you look into its background. We see that Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and Snails are still the top buckball players in Equestria and are heading for the championship game, just as Dash comes across Quibblepants from all the way back in Season 6. He's trying to get into buckball because he's in a relationship with a mare named Clear Skies who happens to have a daughter named Wind Sprint, who's a really big fan of the sport. She seems to have a hard time dealing with Quibble dating her mom, and he tries to build a relationship with her to feel accepted in the family. To do this, he asks Dash to teach him the ways of being a sports pony, and it goes just as well as you'd expect. So the story comes across as fairly predictable, with it being a kind of try-hard story with a step-parent trying to get his step-kid's approval. But that doesn't make the episode bad by default. It still pulls off a lot of genuinely good stuff, giving the characters some nice highlights and presenting the story in a pretty noteworthy way. I really like how Snips and Snails are worked into the episode, giving them a significant amount of screen time without making them annoying. Snips is given some humorous personality, coming across as a snarky hustler by marketing Snails' talent into its own business. Like, did you really expect Snails of all characters to get his own merchandise? Just the fact that Snips made this into a reality is hilarious. But he does help Quibble and Win in their training, so it's nice that he stuck around to be useful instead of just trying to make money off the situation. On the other hand, Snails comes across as pretty chill and well-focused in spite of his dopey nature. This episode manages to carry over all of the strengths with Snail's character that the other Buckball episode had, demonstrating the talent he has for the sport and placing him in a more grounded role to improve his personality. This may or may not be the final appearance of these two in the show, so it's good to see them put in a role where their characters are more than just being made into a joke. They're actually given some real love and respect for once, coming across as tolerable and likable instead of just being irritating. I also really like how Dash and Quibble actually stay friends and never had any kind of romantic relationship in the show. It just feels more genuine that they simply have a strong and meaningful friendship without it being romantic. It would have been easy to keep the relationship open, but seeing that Dash and Quibble are just friends is really a lot more natural and satisfying. And it's understandable that they went that route considering the episode's background, but we'll get into that later. And it's really great to see that Fluttershy can actually handle a crowd now. In the earlier seasons, she never would have been able to handle having fans or being part of a show or anything like that. So seeing how she's now able to confidently play a popular sport in front of hundreds, maybe thousands of ponies, really emphasizes just how much her character has grown throughout the series. Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie together play a really good supporting role in the episode. They retain the attitude of it's just a game and keep it in good fun, and it allows them to perform as real experts in the sport. Dash plays a nice role in the episode too, even if she comes across as a bit misguided. She's understandably confident in her ability to train Quibble with her history as a sports pony and being a Wonderbolt, and even if her solution to the problem is short-term, it still comes from a nice place. She puts forth an effort to help Quibble build a relationship with his future stepdaughter, and it builds into a good moral for both of them to learn. She encourages Quibble to talk things over with Clear and Win to be straightforward about his feelings on sports, and when Quibble opens himself up, it actually comes across as really heartfelt. He truthfully and honestly wanted to build a relationship with Wind in a way that's akin to how a parent and their kid would bond. He doesn't want to wow her or impress her by looking cool or athletic, he just wants her to like him. You really have to give Quibble credit for actually wanting to put forth an effort to be a good stepfather to Win to earn his relationship with his girlfriend and her daughter. And the moral that Quibble and Dash learn is how the solution wasn't about being a fan of something someone else likes, but to understand why Wind Sprint was so passionate about the sport. And in the end, she admires Quibble's honesty and decides to express her love for the sport to him. Quibble learns that he shouldn't try to become her idol by being a good athlete, but instead build a connection with her on things she likes. It's a really good moral because it teaches people how to understand others through their interests and passions, learning why something means so much to them and how they can better connect with them. It's a good moral for Quibble and Dash to learn, and it's fit into the story by helping Quibble understand how to connect with his family. It's a message that's surprisingly adult, but executed in a way that both kids and adults can understand. And that's not even the best part of the episode. The best part is how it works as a parallel with Oswald's real-life experiences with his family. I came across this article after seeing the episode, and it really paints it in a new light. It's actually a tribute to Oswald and his daughter to honor the memory of his original wife. She tragically passed away one day, and it was really hard for them to adjust to the loss. But they eventually found someone to fill that void and were able to rebuild themselves as a family. The episode about Quibble trying to be a part of Wind and Clear's life is actually a reversal of that whole scenario. There's a scene where Wind is talking with her mother and she says that no matter what anyone else thinks about Quibble, it won't make her forget about her dad. The way that she says that, combined with the episode's background, really puts a lot of weight into that line. Remember how this episode is a parallel of Oswald's life experiences with his family and how his original wife passed away? While they don't directly say what happened to Wind's dad, there's a couple of hints throughout the episode that he actually died. This was a really smart way for the episode to handle the subject of death. It's made very obvious that Wind's parents didn't get a divorce, and Clear talks to her in a way where she understands the hardships of dealing with her father not being in her life. She tells Wind that she doesn't need to forget about her father but learn to appreciate Quibble so she can have a place for both of them. Even if it's not directly pointed out, the subtext is still there. It also explains why Wind had such a hard time bonding with Quibble, because he was trying too hard to replace her father by being something he wasn't. But Quibble didn't have any asshole moments when trying to get her approval, so it manages to stay consistent. And what makes it even better is that they actually got Patton's family to do the voices of these characters. That's actually his new wife and daughter doing the voices of Windsprint and Clear Sky. They even got Oswald's daughter to help do the character design for Wind by telling the staff what her favorite colors are. This casting decision just makes the episode feel so much more real. When you combine the episode's background with the way Patton works off his family and the chemistry between these characters, they feel like an actual family. Oswald and Big Jen themselves revealed that the episode was made in honor of his late wife, and it ended up being a really wholesome tribute. The fact that the episode was made in loving memory of her is really touching. So much of the emotional weight of the episode is accredited to the vocal performance of Oswald and his family, and it's amazing how the writers not only made a story that provides respectful insight on Oswald's family history, but also wrote a story about how step-parents and stepchildren can form a relationship. Learning about the episode's background and looking into the behind the scenes for what inspired the plot and the characters just adds so much more depth to the story, making the episode a lot more poignant. It subtly talks about dealing with the death of a parent, how to form a relationship in a step-family, provides a standout lesson in the series, and handles all of the characters very well. And even if the story is predictable, it's still very well structured with wholesome character development. I really like how Buckball was brought back but wasn't made into the focus of the episode. It's actually used as a catalyst for bridging the gap in Quibble's relationship with his family. It touches on a deep and complicated topic outside the usual purview of a children's show, but it's done in a way that makes it feel profound. It's really something that they got such a good parallel with Oswald's real life, and they actually got his wife and daughter to help carry out the story. Common Ground has a real heart and soul behind its production, providing a respectful outlook on Patton's family history as well as a really good piece of closure for Quibble's character arc. The moral, the characters, and the subject matter are handled in such a wholesome way that shows that MLP is really maturing with its audience. It's really one of the best, if not the best episode of the season so far, and I really can't believe that Season 9 is on such a hot roll right now. I wonder what they're gonna do next. Please don't kill Ocelbar.